Mars and Pisces, right? These people are creative. They like to create a plan and do stuff. It ain't necessarily a plan. They like to get people, make them feel good. And that in itself helps them out, but not just them. It helps other people out, or they creatively make things happen. So they don't necessarily have to say so much. These people, they just okay, I understand, you are going through this situation, right? And these people like to hear, what you have going on. But then they're like, can you help me out too? So then, and they like to, help other people out. But they'll, creatively, get other people involved in what they're doing. That's what these people do. Creatively get people involved in what they're doing. When if they see, something in you, and then once they do that, you know it could be fun. you know these people do have fun as they go about getting what they want, you know the goals in life that they have. you know they like to run around and you know create things, create situations for themselves, opportunities, you know and they don't worry about anybody, because they ain't causing any harm to nobody. you know Not really. And then they ain't thinking either, right? Not really. They come up with something in their head and they're like, I see that. I like what that does. I like the feeling, I'm gonna feel when this happens. I'm gonna do it. And then when this happens, it's gonna be like feel this way and that way, and it usually, sometimes and it does. It is like that. They know how to, dial in on what they want to do. They know what they like, and they go about doing that, and they accomplish that for themselves and others. They like to help other people out, or you know keep them as they know if they have people and they care about people, they can accomplish their goals. And caring for another person, being there for them. They'll be there for me, because they know that, I'm always, keeping it, this and that, my, experience. I've done this and that, you manipulate situations to, meet your ends, and it's good to do that. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, it doesn't matter if people, you know, don't get it, don't understand, because the people who do understand like you for it, and you focus on that more. You like to change people's emotions a little bit, just a little bit, get things to move certain ways so that, life can happen, the way you want it to. Your dreams will be accomplished and shit. Your imagination, it presents itself in a creative way because of you, and you having your wisdom and doing it that way, you know, following that, what your life's done for you. You've been through this, you've been through that. Now you know how to like navigate shit better. And being that person for other people too can also, help you out. They come to you for help. You know, they like you. They like being around you. You like to be around other people too. So it's just a fun time. It's, good. But you don't necessarily have to, be out there, in talking and other things. You like to, dial back sometimes and just have, your, opportunities present, available, and they, come to you. You're an attractive type of person, is what I'm saying. There's something about you that people just can't get away from, and they wouldn't let you. You wouldn't let other people, but then, really people don't want to let you down, or not let you down, but they don't want to, see you go through anything either, because you considered them, or not consider them. You had compassion for what they were going through, because you told them some things about yourself, and then they were like, "Oh my gosh, this person right here," you know, that, is a person that, people want to, help. People who help other people, people like that. And they see that and they're like, "I like that person." You just have that way about you, and people help you, you help them, and it's just a, good time. Better days are ahead. You know, you not be there now, but the dream is always there. I can, get people involved. I can not, keep these type of people away from me based off of the experience I had, right? Last time. Because you learn from what you go through and shit, is what I'm saying here. And then you see somebody else and they're like, similar or not, and you might take a chance on it, you might not take a chance on it, but you know how to better navigate it because you've always been the type of person to, you know, want to understand others, but not just understand, but be deep and get to know them on a little bit of a deeper level. People like that. Not all people though, and you know this. That's what you do. And you do it all the time. And you have fun a lot too. You're a person that accomplishes their goals, their dreams, their creative ends, is what I like to say about you. So, stay cool on the corner. But you're probably going to be deep and, do other things. Things that ain't so, plain or boring. You make it fun. That's what you're going to do. But I'm going to stay cool on the corner and also be fun.